G'day, it's Pete here, and today I'm going to do a lesson on thinking in defence. So defence is one of the most important parts in bridge, and people don't spend as much time on it as they should. They just sort of usually think that their hands when they're playing it are the main important thing. But because you spend most of your time actually defending, you get a lot of reward for putting some time back into it and trying to improve it a bit. So I'll talk just a bit about different ways you can sort of improve your defense and sort of the thinking you can go through. I've got sort of 5 sort of general topics that I was going to sort of talk on and give you some examples in, and I've got some hands to play through. So the topics that I like to think about are sort of what was the lead from, so spending some time working out what's been shown by the lead and things like that. Trying to actually beat the contract I think is rather important, and you want to do that. Using information from Declarer's line of play, like why is Declarer doing what they're doing. Using the bidding to your advantage, and counting. So I'll just talk a little bit about those topics and then we'll get into some example hands. So I was going to mention, what is the lead from? So lots of people get a lead and they just think, okay, partner led a low card, okay, they like it, and then they move on. What I think is of absolute vital importance is sort of taking this thought process the whole way. So partner might lead a low card. So yes, partner likes the suit. And most people sort of stop there, but I think that you want to do a bit more than that. Firstly, they lead, you think, do they like it or not? Okay. Then after you realize, let's say they like it, then go, what holdings might they have in the suit? Okay. Might they have king 10 6 4 or something like that? Just think of what sort of precise cards might they actually have. And then after that, use that to work out what does Declarer have. So instead of just thinking, yes, partner likes the suit and I'll just return it, take a moment to think, what do they actually have in that suit? And then what does that give Declarer? So that's what I mean by taking it the whole way. Firstly, do they like the suit? What sort of holdings can they have, sort of combinations? And then if they have those, what does that give Declarer? Again, you can also do this when partner leads a sort of highish card saying they don't like the suit, or also when they lead a sequence. So instead of just, if partner leads a sequence saying yes, they've got the queen and the jack, take that moment to think, okay, this will also give Declarer this sort of holding, and go from there. So I think it's really important when partner leads, think what have they led from, and then taking that the whole way through and working out what Declarer has got. Other things that we're going to do is talk about trying to beat the contract. Rather than, sometimes people think, okay, I should lead through dummy's strength or through dummy's weakness or any of that sort of stuff. They're just trying to guess what suit to play, rather than actually trying to think, how many tricks do we need to beat the contract, and where do I need partner's cards? So what I like to do to try and think about how to beat the contract is try and give or place partner with some cards that will give you a chance to get enough tricks. So if the opponents are in 4 spades, you want to think of what partner's cards might be to allow you to get 4 tricks. If they're at the 4 level, you need 4 tricks to beat it. If they're in 3 no trumps, you need 5, and so forth. You want to take some time and think, what cards do I need from partner to actually beat the contract? Then what you want to do is count sort of out the points or the shape, or get some information so that you know what partner might have, so that you give a ballpark estimate. So some people might go, well, if my partner's got 4 aces, we're going to beat 4 spades. but partner might not be able to have enough points to have 4 aces. You might have 8 points, and if they've got 16, then that's clearly not realistic for the opponents to be in game. So you want to sort of count and think, what's a realistic hand partner might have? That will then allow you to beat it. And then after you've worked it out, play them for the hand. Just give yourself a shot at beating it. Okay, so they're the first two. I'll just give you sort of an example hand on that, and we'll sort of recap it and go into a bit more. Okay. So on this hand it goes a heart, pass, 2 clubs. You don't have much to do, so you're just passing. And it goes 4 hearts. Okay, and our partner leads the 3 of clubs. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is work out what was the lead from and take it the whole way. So some people would just say 3 of clubs, that looks like a low card, they like the suit. Now, that's not a very good way of thinking about it. So what we want to do is have a look at dummy. Dummy has a really good club suit here, king, queen, jack to 6, and we have ace to 4. Okay, so partner kind of led low from an honor because we can see all the ace, king, queen, and jack. So what could partner have led from? Well, it looks like they could have led from a shortage. Now, could it be a singleton? Could it be a doubleton? What about 3 small? So there's a few different options. So let's just for a moment stop, try and work out what they've led from exactly, and look at the missing cards. So if I look at our club suit and dummies, the only missing clubs are the 10, the 6, and the 3. Okay. Now, if the partner led the 3, could that be top of a doubleton? No, because we can see the 2 below. So we know that partner's actually led a singleton club. Okay. We know that the missing ones are the 10, the 6, and the 3. The 3 is the lowest of them, so partner has to have led from a singleton. So on the club we win, and even though declarer throws the 10 away, this is not good enough to convince us that they don't have a singleton. All right. Now lots of people at this stage would go, okay, partner's got a singleton club, let's return a club and give them a ruff straight away, and that's what they were after. But what they're trying to do is they're not thinking about the whole hand on defense. They're not trying to beat the contract. They're just saying that, yes, partner led a singleton, let's try and give them a ruff. Okay. What we want to do is stop and say partner's in 4 hearts. Not partner, our opponents are in 4 hearts, so we need 4 tricks to beat them. Now what we want to do is work out, sort of count some points and some shapes. So we've got the bidding up here. West bid 2 no trumps, so they've got 12 to 14 in a balanced hand. And dummy had 12 points, so they've got 24 to 26 points. We have 9, and there was a total of 14 to 16 points between us. So our partner has 5 to 7 points. So we want to place some cards. Our partner has around 5 points. Now we've got the ace of clubs, we can give them a club ruff, that will be 2 tricks. Now we can see that the king of hearts will be a 3rd trick. And where's our 4th trick coming from? Okay, we need 4 tricks to actually beat it. So what we want to do here is think, if partner has the ace of diamonds, that would be a trick. If partner's got the ace of spades, that would be a trick. If partner's got anything lower in diamonds, that won't be that useful, so we won't get in. If partner doesn't have either the ace king of spades or the ace of diamonds, we're not really going to get a 4th trick, are we? Because if we give our partner a club ruff, the player is just going to play the ace of hearts and a heart, draw all the trumps, and then their hand will be good. So we need our partner to have either the ace of diamonds, the ace of spades or the king of spades to get a trick. But the next thing we want to think about is if we play a club back here, and our partner ruffs, if they've got an ace, they can take it straight away. There's no issues there. But what about if they've got the king of spades? They can't lead a spade. And if they lead anything else, Declarer again can win and play ace of hearts and a heart, and we still can't get our spade trick straight away. So what we actually want to do is, even though we know our partner has a singleton club, we want to lead not a club back for them, but instead try and set up this spade. Now, as you can see, we have the king of hearts, and Declarer's only got 5 hearts. If they had 6, they would rebid it. So partner has 3. So even if they play heart to the ace and a heart, we get our king, and we'll still be able to give our partner a club ruff later. But by playing a spade now, if partner's got either the ace of diamonds or the ace of spades, or the king of spades, we'll be able to set up a spade trick. Okay, and we got the spade. Now, if we return, our partner can't do anything but return another spade, and that's no good for us. But now, when Declarer gets to their hand and takes a heart finesse, we get in, and now we can give our partner their club ruff. So here, by planning ahead, we can see that we need 4 tricks to beat the contract, and it's important to do it that way. If we, I'll just go back. Okay, and I'll show you the whole hand. Okay, so if we win the club and we return a club, giving our partner a ruff, this would be all well and good if our partner had an ace to cash. But as you can see, they can't successfully lead a spade at this stage because they can't get their king. So they might play something like a diamond, they win. And now Declarer can just play heart to the ace because they don't want to suffer any more heart ruffs, and a heart back. And if we played a spade now, they can hop up with their ace and get back to the dummy with the 9. And now all their clubs are good, and we never actually get our spade. So it's important to think about how are we actually getting the tricks to beat this contract. And if we don't think about that and just think, oh, partner led a singleton and I want to give them a ruff, we won't actually be planning the best to beat the contract. So we want to think, firstly, what has partner led from? And secondly, what has partner led from? Work it out all the way through to work out what Declarer's got. Then we also want to try and think of ways that we can actually beat the contract and play our partner for those cards. Now, we know we needed partner to come up with another trick as well as get their ruff, but because we had the king of hearts, we could have postponed it, giving them the ruff, because we knew we'd get back in while we could still give partner a ruff. So it was important to poke a spade through straight away there. Okay. Okay, on to the next hand. So they're just doing some bidding. They bid 4th suit forcing. And we have this option. Okay, so a few things that want to talk about here is, I'll cover it, which is declarer's line of play. Sometimes you want to think about what is declarer doing and why are they doing it, and what does that tell you about the hand. Other things you want to do is during the bidding, now I just bid it really quickly, but you want to have a guess at what the opponent's shape is and sort of what their point range is. So lots of people just, while the opponents are bidding, just, okay, it's their time, and just switch off and have a break. What you actually want to do is, while they're bidding, listen to their auction and just have a guess at what sort of shapes they have, what sort of points are they showing. Especially if you're struggling for time. If you're a slow player, make sure you use this time. It's of vital importance. It speeds up the whole game and you won't get time penalties, but if you think about what's going on in their auction while you're just passing, you'll be a lot more efficient and it'll make the game easier. So I just did the whole thing through, but what we want to do is just have a guess at their shape. So what do you think the east hand has, and what do you think the west hand has? Okay, so if I was looking at the auction while they were bidding this, I would say east has an unbalanced hand with diamonds and clubs. West bids spades, and then they bid 2 hearts, 4th suit forcing. So they've got about 12 points at least. East said, yep, I've got hearts covered. I'm an unbalanced hand with diamonds and clubs, but I got hearts covered. West said they've got 6 spades, and East said, that's nice, let's play 3 no trumps. So if I had to guess, I'd say that the East hand has something like a 1, 3, 5, 4. That's not the only hand shape they could have, but that's approximately what they're showing. They don't have a spade fit, and they've got an unbalanced hand with diamonds and clubs. What about the West hand? We know that they've got 6 spades and 12 points, at least. Okay, so you want to use the time during the bidding to come up with a picture of what the hand is, and just have a guess at what the shape is. Now, it doesn't need to be a particularly good guess. If they open 1 no trump and it goes 1 no trump past 3 no trumps, you can just have a guess that there are 4 triple 3. It could be wildly inaccurate, but when you find out information that it was wrong, you want to adjust your guess accordingly. So here, the opponents had a pretty revealing auction, and we're just going to guess that East is a 1, 3, 5, 4. Now, it could be wrong, but they gave us a reasonable amount of information. So this is something you want to do during the bidding. Okay. So here, our hearts are pretty poor, so we just want to try and lead a club. It could be right. And dummy comes down, and this is sort of what we expect. They've got 4 hearts, but besides that, that was sort of the hand we were expecting. Okay. And we lead a club, and our partner plays low. And they win the king. Alright, so now while you think, I was mentioning earlier you can think what was the lead from, but when you're on lead you can't really think about that. But it is important when you get something and they follow to trick 1, you also want to work it out from the other side. So here, what do we know about the suit? Well, East bid clubs, so they've got at least 4 clubs, and that includes the ace. Okay, that's about all we know. Our partners might have given us a signal. Depends on what your signals are. But at any rate, we know that East has at least 4 clubs, including the ace. Our partner does not have the ace of clubs. Okay. And looking at this dummy, what do you reckon declarer would play at trick 2? If you just had to guess, this spade suit is pretty reasonable, and I'd usually think that playing on spades might be a fair thing to do. Okay, but instead, declarer plays a diamond. Okay, so when declarer does something slightly odd, you want to take some time and work out why are they doing what they did, and what can you work out about the hand. So Why didn't Declarer play a spade here? Okay. Well, firstly, their diamonds might be really good, and they might have quite a good diamond suit. But we have the ace, queen, third, so it's not a great diamond suit, but it can still be pretty reasonable. Okay. So we don't have a lot of information to go on. Like their diamond suit could be as good as their spades, but you still saw that spade suit and thought maybe they'd play on spades. Anyway, we win. And we want to continue. We know that hearts have no prospect here, and we want to sort of continue clubs. Now we've got a couple of choices. We could either lead the jack or we could lead a low one. So if our partner has the queen of clubs or the nine of clubs, we definitely want to lead a low one. If they have neither of them, then we want to lead a high one. But it's probably likely that partner's got one, but no guarantee. Okay, so we just lead a low club and tell partner we had 5 of them. Declarer throws a spade away, and they win the 9. So at this stage, what do we know about Declarer's hand is that they've got ace, queen, 9, fourth club, and they've now just got the ace and the queen. Okay. Now Declarer goes on and leads the jack of diamonds out, and we don't hop up with the ace or anything, and we just play low. And partner wins the king. So again, Declarer's done something slightly odd. They still haven't played on spades. We initially thought it might be because they had a good diamond suit. But we've now seen that we had the ace and the queen, and our partner's got the king of diamonds. So their diamond suit's not even that good. So why aren't they playing on spades if they don't have a really good diamond suit to counter it? It's because their spades aren't very good. We took time during the bidding and think that they've got something like a 1, 3, 5, 4, and they're working on the diamonds. But at this stage, if they had the queen of spades, they would have tried spades. If they had the ace of spades, they would have tried spades. The fact that they're not working on the spades here means that their spade is a small spade. Okay, so Declarer's done something slightly odd, and we can place the cards a little bit better because they didn't do what we expected. Now partner plays another club, and it goes like this, and then Declarer puts in another diamond, and they throw another spade away. Okay, so we're in with the diamonds. Now we've won 3 tricks. We need to find 2 more tricks to play, and all of Declarer's lines suggest that they don't have good spades, and that they therefore have a small spade. And what we want to do is just lead a spade through at this stage. We know that Declarer's got a club, so we know they've got the top club here, the queen of clubs. We also know that they have a heart stopper, so they've got the king of hearts. And they also have 2 diamonds. So we know a lot about Declarer's hand. If we continue with our club play at this stage, they get their club for 1, they get their 2 diamonds for 3, their king of hearts for 4, the ace queen of hearts for a couple more, and it looks like that last heart is also pretty good. So if we played a club at this stage, they've actually got the rest of the tricks. So we're trying to beat the contract. We've placed some of the cards, and Declarer hasn't played a spade at all. So that seems pretty odd. So you should choose to play your partner for good spades and lead a spade through at this stage. So the main thing on this hand is that whenever Declarer does something odd, take some time to work out why haven't they done what I expected them to do, and it'll tell you a lot about the hand and what you can go from there. Okay. Alright, so on to the next hand. So I've talked about working out what the lead was from, then sort of trying to beat the contract with placing some cards, using some information from Declarer's line of play, and trying to guess something from the bidding about Declarer's shape and points. The final thing I was going to do, which is I can't recommend it enough, is count things. You count. You can count high card points, you can count trumps, you can count tricks, you can count losers, you can count length in suits, or you can count distribution. There's all kinds of things you can do. And I recommend practicing your counting. It's one of the most vital things you can do to improve your defense. Anyway, we'll have the auction go 1 no trump pass 3 no trumps. Now, East-West here are playing Akol, so the 1 no trump bid is just 11 to 14. So straight away they've given you some information about the points. West has 12 to 14 points and a balanced hand. And our partner leads a club. Okay. So first what we want to do is count high card points and work out how many points our partner has. So how many points do we have? We have 8 points. How many points does the dummy have? They have 13 points. So between us we have 21 points. So there are 19 between these two hands. The West hand has 12 to 14. So our partner has 5 to 7 points. Okay, we've got a ballpark idea of how many points they've got. This is how I generally count the points. Alternative ways, if they've shown a point range, is you can just guess that they're in the middle. So they've shown 12 to 14. You could guess 13. So 13, 8, and 13. So 26, 8 is 34. So that would leave 6 points for our partner, plus or minus 1. So that's a rough idea of how many points they've got. So that's an alternative way of doing it. Okay, so we have a vague idea of how many points they've got. Next thing we want to do is, what was the lead from? Okay, our partner led a low club, so they like clubs. Now they led the 4, and we can see the 2 and the 3. So this looks like a 4th highest club. So they've only got a 4-card club suit. Okay, so that means Declarer has 3 clubs. So clubs are 4, 3, 3, 3. Next thing is the auction here. 1 no trump pass 3 no trumps. If you had to guess which suit partner would usually lead, they would usually pick a 4-card major. Okay. Now, if our partner's only leading a 4-card club suit, it probably means they don't have a 4-card major. So if you had to guess at anyone's shape here, I would say that my partner doesn't have 4 cards in the majors. So that would give them 4 clubs and something like a 4 triple 3 on clubs. Just a guess. They could have some variation in that, but that's most likely what's going on, because when it goes 1 no trump past 3 no trumps, partner prefers the majors, so it looks like they don't have a 4-card major. So, and diamonds, their diamonds in dummy are pretty long, so they probably, well, they can't have 4 diamonds because that would give West a singleton diamond. So partner's most likely a 4 triple 3 on clubs. So what would that give Declarer? Well, if partner's got 3 spades, then Declarer's got 4 spades. If partner's got 3 hearts, Declarer's got 4 hearts, sorry. If partner's got 4 clubs, then Declarer's got 3. And if partner has 3 diamonds, Declarer has 2. So that would give Declarer a 4, 4, 2, 3 shape in order of spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs. The next thing we want to do, well, we can follow suit and see what happens here. We want to just play 3rd hand high, and Declarer wins the ace. Okay, so we know our partner's got 4 clubs to an honor, and it's not the queen, so it looks like partner's got, it's not the ace, so it looks like partner's got the queen. Okay, at this stage, Declarer plays the king of diamonds, and another diamond, and they finesse to you. So at this stage, it's looking pretty reasonable. We've got a diamond trick so far, and we can just carry on with clubs because we don't have anything else great to try. And the opponent's duck a club, and partner sets up a club. Okay, so if we're counting points, our partner's shown up with 2, and declarer's shown up with 7. We've seen the ace of clubs and the king of diamonds from declarer. Now, at this stage, other things we want to count are, we can count declarer's tricks. So they're in 3 no trumps. They want to try and get 9 tricks. Now they got 2 club tricks. They're going to get 4 diamond tricks. So that's 6. And you can see the ace of spades. That's 7. So they'll need 2 more tricks out of the majors from West's hand. Okay. So if West has the king queen of spades, then they'll have 9 tricks. If they've got the king queen of hearts, they'll also have 9 tricks because they'll be able to get hearts and the ace of spades. So we have to assume that declarer doesn't have king queen of either of the majors. Okay. So if they don't have that, that gives them, so they've got 7, they need at least 5 points in the majors. So we have to hope that we can beat the contract, such that they've either got king-king or king-queen in either of the majors in either sort of fashion. Now, if partner's got the king of hearts, that'll all be easy. If partner has the king of spades and the queen of hearts, they're also in trouble because they don't have 9 tricks. The main problem comes when partner has the 2 kings, king of spades, king of hearts, because they'll be able to get 3 diamonds, they'll be able to get the ace of spades, and if they guess the hearts by playing a heart to the king, they'll be able to make. So we're hoping to beat this contract. So they start cashing their diamonds. So at this stage, we know that we need to let partner get in. And also, if declarer's got king, queen of spades, we're in trouble. So we have to hope that they don't have that. And we'll just throw a spade away. Okay. And now they take the final one. And notice that if we'd thrown down to singleton ace of hearts, they wouldn't have any guess in hearts. So I'll just open it up so that you can see it all. So at this stage, declarer is cold if they play a heart to the king. Now in the defense, if we threw both our hearts to hold on to Jack 10 fourth spade, declarer wouldn't have any choice to get hearts wrong. They'd lead a heart and the king would appear. So the main thing we want to do is work out how many points they've got, what can partner have that might be able to beat the contract, and then go from there. So this hand involved a bit of counting to work out what partner can have and what the shape was. Then counting declarer's tricks to work out how many tricks they've got, and that if they had king-queen in either of the majors, we were just doomed. So we had to hope that they didn't have that. So the final thing was, if they don't have that, then if they have 2 kings, we have to give them a chance to choose wrong. Now if they lead the Jack of hearts and we play low, they have 2 choices. If they play low, hoping that we have the queen, they would be able to make the contract if we did have the queen, but they would go down on this layout. But if they put up the king of hearts, then they're also home. So they could make it, but they have a guess, and that's all we could do on this hand, is sort of count some things out and work out that we could possibly give partner a guess. And if they guess wrong, our partner wins, we get the club, and then we also get a heart trick. And we have beated a trick. So this hand we couldn't legitimately beat, but we could make sure we gave Declarer a guess. And that's sometimes the best you can do. And what you want to do is sort of count things out and work out what you can play for. So there was a few things on this hand, which was working out what the lead was from. And the lead gave us a lot of information on this hand. Not only did we know that partner liked the suit, but also that they had 4 clubs, so Declarer had 3. And also it was a bit odd that partner led a club rather than a major. So it seemed likely that they only had 3 cards in a major, and therefore we could work out the sort of shape at trick 1 as a pretty reasonable guess. It wasn't locked in for certain, but it was a fair idea that that's what would be going on. So it's important to, when you think what was the lead from, take it the whole way through the thought process. Does partner like the suit? If so, what sort of holdings might they have? And then what would that give Declarer? And what do we know about the rest? Then we want to sort of try and beat the contract by playing partner for some useful cards that might get us enough tricks. And that involves sort of trying to count and work out what's reasonable. On this hand we wanted to count points and tricks to work out how many tricks Declarer had, and if they had these cards there's nothing we can do about beating it, but if they don't have those cards then we probably can beat it, or at least give them a guess. So there are some things we can use to think about on defense. Okay, and again we have another alcohol option which goes 1 no trump, pass, 3 no trumps. This time our partner leads the queen. Okay. Excuse me. So firstly we want to think, what's this lead from? Well, our partner has top of a sequence, so they've got queen, jack, probably the 10. If not some more below it. So that gives Declarer the king and probably the ace. Declarer, our partner might lead the queen from ace, queen, jack or anything like that, but it's most likely that Declarer's got the ace, king. Okay, and Declarer just ducks the first club. And then our partner continues with another one. Okay, and they win the king. So we wanted to do some thinking at trick 1, or trick 2, either of them work. So how many points does our hand have? Well, we have 7 points. And how many points does the dummy have? They have 13. So that's 20 points between our 2 hands. And West has 12 to 14. So our partner has 6 to 8 points. Okay. So at this stage, it looks like West has the ace, king of clubs. Now, what we want to do is see what they do at the next trick. They lead the queen of diamonds. Now we could duck this trick, but I've got plenty of entries to the east hand, so that's not really going to help us much. So we can just win it. Now what we want to do is think about their tricks. So it looks like they've got 2 club tricks. 4 diamond tricks is 6. Now we know our partner's got sort of 3 to 5 more points. Now if it's the king of spades that our partner has, then Declarer will have 4 diamond tricks, 2 club tricks, the ace of hearts, and 2 spades for 9 tricks. So if our partner has the king of spades, that's not useful to us. It's not going to help us beat the contract. If instead our partner has the ace of hearts, but we return a club, then Declarer will get the ace of clubs, so 2 club tricks, 4 diamonds, and 3 spades. So if our partner has the ace of hearts and we play our club, that's no good. The final thing that we could do is play a heart and hope that our partner's got the ace, and then we can get heart to the ace, heart to the jack, king of hearts, and that will be 3 tricks and enough tricks to beat the contract. Now if our partner had the ace of clubs, when they led the queen and it goes queen, small, 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 they probably would have played ace of clubs and a club. Not guaranteed, but they might have done that. So our choices are hope that partner's got ace, queen, jack to 5 clubs, or otherwise we can hope that they've got the ace of hearts. So we've got 2 choices here, but the main thing we can realize is if they've got the king of spades, declarer is going to make the contract. If our partner's got the ace of clubs but only 4 of them, that's not enough to beat it, because then we'd only get 3 club tricks in the diamond. So the most likely way to beat this is hoping that partner's got a heart and just switching to a heart at this stage. And partner put in the ace, and we get that. As it happens, hearts are 3-3, so even our final heart's good. So here, by counting, we got to work out that partner probably had either the ace of clubs, ace of hearts, or king of spades. We just sort of had to make an educated guess about what was actually going on the hand. And playing them for the ace of hearts. So this one was a bit trickier, but you want to count high card points, place some cards for what partner might have, and then try and beat the contract from there. Okay, so that were all the hands that I prepared, but I was just going to recap some stuff you can do to think on defense. So it's important that when partner leads, take the thought process the whole way and think, what have they led from? Do they like the suit? What sort of holdings would that give them? And then what does that give the declarer? So you want to give it the whole thought process, not just think, okay, they led low, they like it. Don't stop the thought process there. Try and think through what actual holdings they could have and what does that also give declarer. We also want to try and beat the contract. So this means rather than just choosing to lead stuff that we think partner might like, we want to say, okay, we need to get 4 tricks or 5 tricks. What cards do I need from partner to be able to do this? And then we can play them for those cards and hopefully beat the contract. Rather than just hoping that they like clubs and we just keep plowing on with clubs, place some cards that we think might actually allow us to beat the contract. Now this might involve counting points or counting shape, but either of those we need to do. And place some cards, work out what we need from partner to beat the contract, then play them for it. Other things are, when declarer is playing the hand, try and work out why is declarer playing the way they do. You can work out why they're playing that way, you can work out a fair amount about what their cards are and what you can do to actually stop them. Also, if they do something a little bit odd and not what you would expect, so if you just looked at dummy and said, oh, if I was declaring the hand I'd probably play this suit, and they don't play that suit, they've done something odd, and you can try and work out why they did that, because whenever something strange pops up, you can usually work out a lot about the hand. My other tip is that during the bidding, don't waste this time. So use this time to try and have a guess at declarer's shape or points or anything like that. So give them a shape. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate, but just something to work from. So if they preempt, say, a weak 2 in spades, you might guess that they're a 6-3-3-1 or something like that. As soon as they show up with a doubleton, you can revise that and go from there. But the main thing is give them a shape, have a guess at their points, and try and build on that guess until you know exactly what their cards are. And this is especially important to do it during the bidding if you're a slow player or you don't want to waste the time during your hand, because when it gets to playing the hand, there's so much to think about. But during the bidding, if you're just sitting there passing, there's very little to think about. Use this time. It's very important to use this time to have a guess at what their hand shape is like or anything like that. The final thing I was going to mention is counting is essential. You want to try and count as much as you can. So you want to try and count high card points, count trumps even if you're in defense, count tricks, maybe count losers, count suit length, and if you can, count the whole distribution of the hand. But that's something that takes a lot of practice. The main thing you want to do is start counting as much as possible. Anyway, that's a wrap up from me. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and thanks for watching.